What's going on? Stream Deck not working again. Oh my goodness. Always something. You just want to press a button and go live and it's not working. And you feel like a fool bobbing the music and you're not live. Hey everybody, how's it going? Hopefully you're having a good Tuesday. I'm a little late, but not my own fault. It is my fault, but it's not my fault, if you get what I mean. How's it going? I don't think I should have this up yet. Well, close it for now. Let me pull up the chat really quick. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hopefully you're having a good day. What's up, Draconic? Yeah, I'm sitting there trying to press buttons and I'm just like, it's not working. If you could have heard the guttural scream I let out before I switch the sound on, then you know. All right. We're here with what's up, Henry? What's up, Draconic? We're here with some good, this is a good grouping for Bastard, the beginning after the end, and for and for Black Clover. Black Clover more so was like more chill. This truly felt like in between finished Black Clover last second again. I sat there and read it earlier today. I went to sleep late. I didn't have a chance. I need to do better with Black Clover. We haven't put anything in the Discord about Black Clover in like the last month. It sucks. I love it, and it's crazy because I love it so much. But Black Clover really felt like it was like a little in between. Like nothing crazy was happening. We had like the festival, and then training with. I need help pronouncing the new captain of I forgot what's the name of their night brigade? It's the Lions, the Vermilion family. What's her? How do you the canon filler arc? Yeah. How do you pronounce her name? It's Rio Leon. I don't even know how to, like Fuego Leon. Like when I first looked at it, I was like, that sounds difficult. And then you say it enough times and it makes sense. But Mario Leona, how do you pronounce her name? Because for a split second, I got the same exact feeling that I got when you're first introduced to Fuego. One, I got hype whenever Julius said all the knights, all the captains were gonna be here, and I was like, all the captains, Fuego Leon. I was going crazy. And then I'm like, they show the page with all the. I'm not supposed to be talking about Black Clover, but we're here now. We're gonna talk about Black Clover first, I guess. I'm already here. Oh. I don't know how this happened, but we're gonna talk about Black Clover first because I'm already in it. Like you get the page with all the knights that walk out because what's her name? Oh gosh. Her name is. It starts with a C. Is her name Cynthia? No. Yes. No. Yes. Charlotte. That's her name. Charlotte was drunk because of her drinking contests. You know, I'm here now. Charlotte got drunk because with her drinking contest with Vanessa, which she barely drank one thing, and they had the 7 of them up there because Yami wasn't gonna get up there, and I'm like, I don't see Fuego Leon. Where's Fuego Leon? And I'm like, all right, I've been led astray, I've been lied to, all these things. So for a split second, whenever you first get introduced, after the whole thing is done, I'm even out of order with how I wanted to talk about this. And she's like talking back to Leo and all the other members of what is the name of their brigade? What is the name of it? Oh my gosh. When she's talking back to them and she's like, you guys are 5th, you've never been lower than 2nd, yada yada yada, and she's like decking them. I got mad for a second, and then the same thing happened all over again. Just like when Fuego Leon first pops up and you're hating him and you don't like him because he's talking so nasty to Noelle and they're talking down on people. Crimson Lion, thank you. Oh gosh, I couldn't think of that for my life. And it's just like the same thing was happening, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, why do I like this lady? I'm like, why do I like this lady? Whenever it's just it really was cracking me up whenever she was like, we're gonna go train at the hot springs. And then Asta says something and she's like, you. And then Yuno's like, see ya, Asta. And she's like, you too. I was down here cracking up because it was everyone. Noelle said something, you too. Yami said something, you too. It was great. I really liked that moment. It was really good. It made her like, I was just like, all right, I like her now. It took nothing but a few pages of dialogue and action for me to just end up liking her. Just same way with Fuego Leon. I'm just like, I don't know, this stupid family and and the people that take over. I don't know. Next thing I want to talk about, I need your helps. Because I felt super confused. With Ladros, before we even get to all this, when we wrapping up the previous arc, with Ladros, I remember, yes, she does not. But with Ladros, I remember Asta in like his form, blitzing him and almost killing him. And for some reason, everything else after that moment, when it comes to Ladros, just disappears. Until I'm reading 102, 101, either 101 or 102. And the first time he shows up, I'm like, who is this? I just didn't even think about it. And then you see him again, and I'm just like, is that Ladros? What's going on? I felt like I missed something. It's the second time or third time that this has happened, where I'm looking at something and I'm just like, well, how did we get here? I missed something clearly. What did I miss? The evil got beat out of him. Okay. Because he had that. Just don't think about it. I was sitting there. I'm like, I'm legit. The first time I'm just like, okay. I was like, I don't know who this is. Literally, I was like, I don't know who this is. And then again, and I was like, wait, is that Ladros? And then it says Ladros, and I'm like, that's Ladros. And I think it was was it Finral? It was like, can we trust this guy? And they're like, don't worry about it. And I was just like, well, okay, so good. The evil got beat out of him. Don't think about it. Got it. Hands clean. Mars talking about he's gonna go back to the Diamond Kingdom, take over the king, and then make it a kingdom of peace. I want to get a whole arc focused on that, please and thank you. Next, Asta. I love that Asta really was thinking about Kahono and what's her brother's name? I can't remember her brother's name. He just rolled up on her like, hey, Asta, and he's just like, hey, you got your leg, boom, and it's like she could talk again. And one thing I wanted to mention is, how cold do you have to be, right, to have Noelle and Asta both be like, they both went through this trial, this ordeal, in order to get this thing that gave you your voice back, right? They gave you your voice back, and the first thing you do with your voice is challenge Noelle on who can get Asta first and go and propose a double date. I'm like, that's cold. I'm like, she's cutthroat. Like, this girl really leveled up and helped out so that we could get you your voice back. Then the last thing you're gonna do is make me compete for the boy I like. So I'm like, all right, well, this is crazy. And I'm just getting through Black Clover because it really was like, I don't want to say it was filler, but it's just nothing really was happening. Like, if it's written in the story, I'm not going to call it filler, but nothing really was happening. It's just like a calm down moment. And I love these moments because it gives my characters that are always like high strung and fighting something else to do. I just like to see them do like day-to-day stuff. And I really appreciated that. I really appreciate just getting to slow down a little bit. Not really a fan of how that was handled. Yeah, you're like a big Noelle fan, so the fact that this girl, it felt like I really was sitting there like, man, that feels kind of like crazy. Like, we got you your voice back and you want to steal the boy I like? That's crazy. It's like, what? Like, all right, we can do this. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that the Black Bulls are second. Now, when they brought up the list and they showed like the -50, I was like, Black Bulls are probably gonna be like second from the bottom, fifth. Now, when it said second, I was down here. I was going crazy. I was going crazy like I was at some sporting event or something. I didn't expect second place, even though we've been watching them do a lot. I didn't expect second because their second place was more than what last year's first place was. So they really completely did like a 900-degree turn on what you possibly could. Yami was loving it. Yeah. It's just like he didn't care in the moment, but when he showed up the next time, he was like rubbing it in all their faces. He was like, "Yes, sir." And now they're all acting like, "Oh, you only did this one time. Let's see if you could do it again." Blah 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 blah. It's just like, you gotta hold this L. You took this L. You gotta hold it. You gotta take this. And it's just, it was a good grouping of chapters. It was a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Nothing really serious happened. We got introduced to a lioness, and I'm interested to see more of her. Yes, and that's pretty much all I got for Black Clover. It was a pretty good one. I don't even know how I ended up on Black Clover, but it's done. There we go. We're gonna move on to Bastard, and this probably will be a quick one. I feel like we're gonna spend the most time talking about the beginning after the end, but with Bastard, hold on, gotta remember this. Bang bang. With Bastard, this series does a little bit more backstory on Noel's mom. That's a good thing to point out as well. The little because she, like, what did I'm gonna call her what Yami calls her, Cisco Leone. And Noelle had that conversation where she was like, "I can tell by your money, you're not the same like you used to be. Like you're developing, and like something like being like your mom." And I completely just I should have talked about the swords and the elves. The elves are a big deal. The elves are definitely a big deal. Asta's got elven swords. I don't know where it's gonna go. But why would the elves have some swords like that? I don't know. I'll think more about this later. I don't know why the elves have swords like that. But why would the elves have more swords like that? I don't know. I know this wasn't a lot of them. I'm not gonna figure this out. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna make it a priority to hop in the Discord for Black Clover this weekend. I have to. Keep saying I'm going to, and I don't. I have to. I gotta do it. Yeah, specifically it was the ruined remains of the elf leader swords. Yes. So that's gotta happen because I want to really sit there and put some stuff down. It's been like a month since we've done that. I sucked. But moving on, I'm gonna move on to Bastard. This series is so stressful. It's a stressful read. A very stressful read. It roller coasters you up and down, left and right. I don't know if every Six Flags has this roller coaster, but it's called, the one near me is called the Mind Eraser. And I don't think it's the biggest roller coaster there anymore outside of like the Superman. But you sit in it, it's like the one where your feet dangle, and when you when you get in it, if you don't like keep your head still or like try to like tuck your head back, you're literally gonna get a concussion. You're just that's what this series feels like. It just feels like ups and downs and just constant jostling and like just going crazy. That's what this series feels like. 1 minute you're down here, next minute you're up here, next minute you're biting your nails, next minute you're like, oh my goodness, next minute you're pissed off because you've reached the point where you can't read anymore. And I'm just like, I don't like it. I don't like it because I just want to binge this series. There's not that many chapters. I just want to read it all at this point. I'm at the point now, 30 chapters in, where I just want to read the rest of this series. Week to week for this series legit has been harder than any other series we've been covering so far because just of the subject nature of what the series is. It's so difficult. It's so difficult to not just binge it. Trust me. There was one night where I was just laying in bed like, I could read it right now. I could read it right now and not be mad. Right? Very much so. But this series is stressful. That was my first point. My second point, there's a lot of things that I can talk about, but the things that I really want to point out is the possibility of a copycat killer being out there. That's and it's something I want to talk about because it could either be one or two things. If this could get really crazy, it could be Jin killing and not knowing he's killing. I've been watching a lot of stuff with multiple personality stuff, so Jin could he's gone through enough trauma to have created a separate, like if dissociative identity disorder were to develop in him, he's gone through enough trauma in which he could have created another identity that could do something. I don't know how this will factor into the series so far. We get to see a lot of his life, so this guy just could be pulling this from the ether of nothing. But it's a possibility. But the possibility of there being a copycat killer means that I think Jin might end up running into the copycat killer before his dad does. Or maybe it depends on if the dad knows there's a copycat killer out there. It depends if he knows. It was a weird conversation between Jin and his dad whenever the dad knew more information than Jin thought he did, and they kind of were having conversations around each other. Like Jin started off lying, and then the dad was like, well, bang, 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 bang. But then Jin also had something else to counter as well. So it's their conversations are super, 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 super duper loaded. And it's hard to know what information they're hiding from each other, what information they both know. So it's Jin seeing that thing, and they're talking about all the missing girls that are going missing and not letting her walk home alone. Ryu Kun. I don't know. I don't know which name I'm supposed to call her. And he's saying that two of these girls he's unsure, confirming that Jin has a hand, or at least is around whenever his dad kills. So he he's been doing this for a long time. So I think there's a possibility that Jin could run into this copycat killer if the dad doesn't know about it. If the dad doesn't know about it, then that's crazy. I would assume he does, and he could be possibly playing some mental mind game with the copycat too, trying to set something up, kind of like Mr. Brooks in a way. If you ever seen that movie, good movie, Kevin Costner movie. Kevin Costner, Dane Cook, Demi Moore. It came out in the mid to late 2000s. I want to say mid to late 2000s. Good movie. I really like that movie. But it puts me in the vein of that, where it could, the dad could possibly stumble across his copycat killer and not work together, but set him up in a way that completely takes all onus and everything away from him. Yeah, and what else did I want before I wanted to really hit my last point? Because my last point is where chapter 30 ended off, just getting him having the nightmares of falling in a sense, and seeing that the dad tried to kill him. That's my last point. But there's something else I wanted to mention. I asked this question in the Discord with 5 Yen on just the state of the three of them. So Kunryu, Jin, and Manny, and their weird friendship, and how Jin, I don't want to say he either manipulates or twists it, but him and Manny had some sort of working agreement that they wouldn't act like they knew each other in school. So for Jin to be like, yeah, Manny's my friend, and then Manny showing up, still beating the guys up, but then shooting that remark back at him like friends. I don't know. Like, I don't know where that leaves Manny. I don't know if Manny I don't know if Manny will have words for him, if he might put hands on him, if they're still going to be like kind of cool buddy after, like, once they see each other again. I don't know how that's going to go, but my question to float it back to y'all. I know 5 Yen's answer, but my question is, how do you feel about Jin using Manny's name in that situation and Jin choosing not to fight back? Because I didn't ask 5 Yen that, but Jin has the courage to swing on someone. We've seen that whenever Kun, what, I don't know the hell this girl's name. Whenever she was at that place and he just slugged that dude from hitting her. So it's like he has the courage to do so. It's just like, will he do it? Like, is that courage always there, or is it brought on because of like certain incidences? And how come Jin didn't try to fight back? Did he just, I'm thinking, gather my words, I'm thinking Jin didn't fight back because he didn't want to possibly either, like, if he is strong enough or he has picked up some things from Manny where he could have beat these guys up. I don't think it would have been a good look for him to have beat these guys up and possibly get caught and his dad get called and the school be like, yeah, your son beat these guys up, and they have like visible marks on them. That would just, it would kind of be like a nail in the coffin for him, like, because the dad's like strict on him not working out. And if Jin beat those boys up, it's like, how the heck, like, how'd you do that? Because I didn't teach you anything. And if you know how to fight and if you're getting stronger, you're clearly doing that against my wishes, so you gotta go. So that's my question, floating it back out. Let me know. And my last point was dropping Jin off the roof. It's nuts. It makes sense that he would try to kill the boy because the dad is just, he's sick. He's a sick individual. So it makes sense that a sick individual would try to kill his child. I would like to know the reason why, the exact reason why. And what is making the dad not kill him now? So it's like he tried to kill him, it didn't work. Why not try again? Maybe it'd be too suspicious if something else happened to Jin again, like, so he fell off the roof or whatever, and he lives and he recovers and he recuperates. Like, it'd be weird if then he just died out of nowhere, right? He just died out of nowhere. It'd kind of be like very suspicious. Like, well, what was this before? So I would like to know the exact reason why the dad tried to kill Jin. And I want to know, because Jin clearly remembers getting dropped, is all of his health issues that he's currently going through, like having the weak heart and all of these things, the glass eye, does all of that stuff come from when his dad dropped him off the roof? Or were those pre-existing conditions before that, and this just exasperated what was going on with him? I wonder. I really wonder. But yeah, this series is damn difficult to wait for. Don't be surprised if I sit down here one of these weeks and I'm like, yeah, I finished the rest of the series. Don't be surprised if I do that. I'm gonna try not to, but don't be surprised if that happens. That sounds about it. Also, because I guess he wanted to get under his skin. Too many questions, I lost track, I'm sorry. Guess he wanted to get under their skin by saying that Manny considered him a friend. It was very effective until he didn't fight back. That, I feel like that's where Jin's, he's weird. Like, I think that's a given. But I feel like if you're gonna shoot that dig, I would then beat the guys up too, right? Why say Manny's your friend and then can proceed to get beat? And the guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill him. They're like, don't beat him up, he might die. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill him. He really was Like, he really was going to be that cold-hearted. Why let yourself get beat up so that Manny could come to the rescue? That's like very bold, because Manny could have not showed up. And then you just would have got stomped out just trying to prove a point. And you just look stupid now. But Jin doesn't care about that. Or maybe he does. I don't know. Also, Kunryu, she's a dum-dum. She's a dum-dum. Granted, if a kid I went to school, I don't think he was expecting Manny to show up. Maybe I have to reread. Maybe he wasn't and Manny just did show up. But then why let yourself get beat up? That's a valid question. Why say that and then proceed to allow yourself to just get jumped? Like, they were gonna stomp him out. Like, why let that happen? Why not at least try to fight back just a little bit? And I don't know. So if you guys went to school, right? And I'll put this in, and if you guys went to school and this person that you're kind of growing fond of tells you not to go home after their dad had your phone and he got it back for you, and this person also like beat up some guy that was like abusing you at your job. Like, realistically, if that then kid told you not to go home, would you go back home? Would you go back home? Well, I probably would. I probably would. But Jin getting caught red-handed though by his dad, that junk was stressful. 50-50. Yeah, it's a tough one. I'd probably go back home if I'm being honest. Or I would ask at that point, if you're pleading with me not to go home, I need a reason. Why can't I go home? This is home. Why can't I go home? You have to tell me. Like, you have to tell me. Why can't I go home? Just don't go home. Well, why? Like, I feel like at that point I would feel like I needed an answer. Because I don't know you like that. I don't know you like that. Like, are you going to try to kill me? Do you know someone's trying to kill me? Like, I got family members I got to take care of at home. Am I just supposed to leave them? If you tell me I'm just supposed to leave my family members, you can kick rocks. So I need a better reason than that. I would at that point, it's question time. We playing 20 questions and you're going to give me an answer. I at that point. No, it's like his dad being a killer or something is something I wouldn't think of. Yeah, it's something I wouldn't have thought of. But at that point my brain would get to working. Like, my brain would get to working. When I went back home, my head would be on a swivel. Like, I'd be looking for stuff. I'm like that now, and don't no one tell me nothing like that. So my head would be on a swivel. I'd be checking like stuff in the house to see if it was in the places that I wanted, like if it was in the place that I left it, I should say. Like, I'm like at that point. But it's just I would probably still go home. If I wasn't gifted an answer, I'd probably go home. And yeah, Jin getting caught red-handed in the salon, you're right, she's super duper naive, but she's like ridiculously naive, because whenever they went to the salon after he was like, oh, there's gum in your hair, he's like, oh yeah, you should get a haircut and you should dye it and this and that. And my first thing would have been like, bro, like, what do you like, huh? Like, what are you doing? Like, no, I'm not changing my hair color. Like, I'm not changing my hair color. Like, I'm asking them, what can we do about this gum in my hair? Can you take it out? You can't take it out? Then we got to get some sort of trim, because I can't leave the gum in my hair. But why I need to dye my hair? Like, he's got to give me answers. And especially after this whole situation where he shows up, the dad does this, and then they have to go off and go talk. Like, hey, homeboy, I need some answers, because this is a little bit too weird. One, you're weird, you act weird, and you act even weirder whenever your dad's around. What the hell is going on? Like, we're friends, right? I'd shame me. You can shame me, but I would pull the friend card. We're friends, right? What's going on? I would have to hit him with that. And if he can't give me an answer, then I don't know if I want to shun him, because clearly some shenanigans is going on, and I'm gonna be at this point, it feels clear like I'm at the expense of this. Like your dad had my phone, this and that. You want me to get a haircut? You want me to dye my hair? You want to do all this? Like I would be like, at a second, I'd have to take a step back. Like what's going on? What's going on? Like, for real. I would have to take a step back. I would have to. Also, the wet dream thing with his uncle and his dad, it was just pure nastiness. It was gross. I hated it. I didn't like that whatsoever. He's a man now. Like, what? That was so weird. And the dad was just like, he's a man now, so I guess that's it. Like, what, we're gonna kill him now? Like, that's craziness. It's gross. It was so nasty. I completely disgusted. I think that's all I got for Bastard. I'm excited to read this a little more. Don't be surprised if I accidentally binge it. That's all I'll say. Don't be surprised, because it's very possible. Moving on, finishing up. The beginning after the end. Oh, I can move this over a little bit more. Hold on. That's good. All right, so the beginning after the end. I can't see how many people are here. Sorry, y'all. This was this was an I haven't experienced the lore dump like this in a long time. Like, in the grouping of like that we read, the grouping of chapters that we read, we had 2 lore dumps from different people. 2. And both of them speak English. Both of them were like pretty substantial lore dumps, like super duper lore dumps. Crazy. it was really crazy. First thing I wanted to talk about was I have to talk about it, but we knew that there was some stuff going on with Cynthia, Miss Good Sky, Director Good Sky. We knew there was something going on with her in the last couple of chapters, where like she's talking to her beast. It's her beast will, right? No, their beast will is what you inherit from. I don't even remember, because it's the beast. Like, you can be a beast tamer, you can inherit a beast will, but it's, what is it called when, like, your connection between a beast, her bond. There we go. Thank you. Like, you can gather information that her bond was talking, like the bird thing, when she's talking with it. I don't think we got it confirmed that it is. That is true. You know what? That is true. You're not wrong. There hasn't been like a hard confirmation. He's just always there. But conversations with that, having her show up and be damaged and be like, oh, it's all fine. Art saying that she's like, this is getting a little crazy. All to get like this, get to this moment where she goes out for this walk. Now I'm not in order. But she goes out for this walk and she gets attacked, and the individuals that are attacking her are calling her a traitor. And she proceeds to like curb stomp these people, not without sustaining a tiny bit of damage, and revealing that the same markings that I forgot that boy's name that ended up dying. And now, you know, this, I really, speaking out loud kind of helps me think of some things. But we get revealed that she has those same markings, and like a bunch of questions initially flood, into your head of, if they called her a traitor, she must have left. It's giving me like Fanzel vibes from Black Clover, where it's like she could have been a part of this and then seen that certain individuals were trying to turn it a certain way and defected, went somewhere else, and now it's catching back up with her. It could be that. Maybe it could be she was sent to infiltrate, ended up falling in love with this land, and decided to integrate with the people here. And now, like, as the true plan is starting to unfold, where she's having to confront these individuals. But the thing that I'm thinking about as I'm talking is, what was the name of the guy that was with Lucas, the first person we ever see with the markings? And they tell us that he ends up dying, like his core, like he had mono leakage of his core, and they couldn't stop it, and he died. Now it makes me feel like that wasn't the case, and Cynthia handled him herself so that no information could get out, and she possibly killed him, and he could have recovered, just so that this wouldn't get too out of hand. I think that could be a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case, because she seemed like she really didn't want things to completely spiral out of control. Now, my question is, and this is just me having to reread. I wanted to reread before I did this stream, but I just didn't have enough free time to. There's like with all the lore dumps, we were getting so many different names of different continents and different individuals and different beings and different, just everything. Where this whole thing that's going on with Cynthia, the markings, the individuals that invaded, that the guy that looks like a Gyutaro slash Hassan mixture that killed Alia, are these the individuals, like are all of these individuals, are they all connected, and are they all what oh wow, what's his name's not, it's not Wisdom, it's what, oh gosh, what's his name, what is his name, the being that Art was having the conversation with? Crap, I should have wrote it down. It's not Wisdom, it's Wisdel or Windsum. Thank you. It's not, it's like not, I was like, it's not Wisdom, it's something simpler. It's Windsum. Is those individuals, the people that Cynthia are dealing with, the people that were in the caves, and like they're in, like, are those two the same people? This is where like a lot of lore happened. I need to reread, but you guys have already read. Rereading again, you guys can help me out a little bit more. Are these parties all one and the same, or are all these different factions but all coming from the same lands? Because I know it was split into 3, and one party decided to interfere and to meddle. So is it, are those, like, are they all linked together, or is it just like different parties? Not sure, but I think the thing that killed Alia might be an Asura. I'm thinking so as well. He just seemed too strong. He seemed way too strong to just be something, normal, or not normal, but just something like generic. He seemed way too strong, and his design seemed a little bit too cool to be something generic. So he could be like some next tier type being. He really could be. No, that's my last point that I want to talk about after. Just the lore dumps were crazy. Triconic definitely helped me out with a lot of whenever we first got the first lore dump with Virion, and him explaining everything, just like about the wars and what the lances truly were, what their original incarnations were, and how they ended up being like reintroduced to the world, but introduced to the world for the first time again. But now I'm thinking, though, that bubble thing that Art got from Winsome, because that old guy with the green sweater was Winsome. Either that was Winsome or that was someone working. Was that the doorbell? Sorry. That sounded like the doorbell. If I hear something again, I might go up. But I don't. That could have been Winsome, the guy with the sweater, just Winsome in disguise, or it could have been an individual working with Winsome. I'm thinking no, it wasn't Winsome was the cat in the shop, but whoever was, I don't know. I'm confusing myself the more I talk. But what was my point? What was my point? Damn, the old man I think was another. So yeah. All right, I wasn't confusing myself. There we go. What was my point? I feel like a freaking dog. My attention span just distracted by noise. It's gone. Wow, it's gone. What was I saying? Crap. No, that's my, like, I have my third point, and it's a question that I want to pose. But, man, what was my other point? Dang it. Something else I wanted to talk about was, I want to go back to, like, chapter, I want to say it was either chapter 14 or 15. Was the first time that we were introduced to Lady Sylvia. Something about lances, I think. Yeah, it was something about the lances. Like, I remember saying, like, being reintroduced to the lances and something like that. Where I was going with it, it's gone. But I want to say it's like chapter 15, 14, 15, 16, where we're introduced to Lady Sylvia for the first time. And there wasn't there like an individual that showed up there? Who was that individual? This is where I want, hold on, I'm gonna do it because it's something I was thinking about but I just never pulled up. I'm gonna try to pull it up really quick. 16. Wow, that popped up instantly. 16 was him being released from Lady Sylvia when he's laying on the ground. 15, 14. Yeah, didn't like an individual show up, like the ones that was chasing her? That's why she was like hiding her form and whatnot. Like, wasn't there another individual that showed up wearing like the same kind of armor as her? Okay, if the guy that showed up back then was not an Asura, I don't know what was. I was really trying to think like what it was, because I remember someone showing up, but I was like, that literally was so long ago, and I only read it one time. I read it and I talked about it, and that's pretty much it. Was it this one? Did he show? Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. This is him inheriting her beast will. Man, this is some heartbreaking stuff. We get to see her true form. Yag. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Lady Sylvia, I advise you cease your stubbornness and hand it over. Submit now, and perhaps he may even heal your wound. It looks similar to Sylvia's previous form. You've already caused us quite the trouble after HID. He says HID, and then Sylvia activates, she activates her ability. Okay. It's chapter 15, One's Held Dear. I found it. This guy, he's got the same appearance as Sylvia. And HID. Yeah, Static Void, thank you. I can never remember the name of that. Can never remember it. I feel like a fake fan. You've already caused us quite the trouble after, he's saying after hiding, I think. But I don't know who they're talking about though. Are they talking about, is this guy talking about Winsome, or is he talking about, or is this guy talking about Winsome's master? I don't know. That I'm unsure of. That I'm very unsure of. But yeah, I had to find it because I remember this, but I didn't remember it good enough. That's freaking crazy. That these freaking things were around this early into the series and not a person had a clue. Not a single individual had a clue what was happening. Wow. Winsome has a cool design, by the way. Cool design. But my last point, and I just wrote it down on my notes as what's next. And when I say what's next, I'm like wondering, where does this series take our main character? Because Winsome was explaining all of this stuff to Art, telling him that that Sylvie is the granddaughter of like the most powerful being ever. Thinking either a new leader of an Asura faction or Sylvia had a falling out with her father. I think so. I think it's one or the other. I don't think there's a third option. It's either one or the other. But I'm learning that like Sylvie is the granddaughter of the strongest being in all of the lands. And what was it exactly with Sylvie? Like the reason why Art and Sylvie would be pulled into this? I can't remember. I should have wrote all this stuff down. I thought I remembered, but I don't remember. But just the fact of the matter of how important Art and Sylvie will be in this upcoming war has me thinking what could be next. They're saying like Art has to leave. He has to leave. What is the name of this place again? Why do I struggle with naming things from this series? Since one of the factions interfered. Yes, the one that interfered. Yes, one of the continents, which is leading to a war. The name of this continent is, I give up. So you guys are gonna put it in the chat. But he's gonna have to leave here and head to the land where Winsome and his people are from, the Asuras, so that he can train, because it's the only place where he can train. So we, in a short amount of time, Dickathen, thank you, Dickathen, to Ephaeltus. Ephaeltus, right? I don't know. So he's gonna have to leave these lands and go somewhere else. Now, in a short amount of time, we went from being a child stuck in the Elven Kingdom to getting the chance to go back home to becoming an adventurer, and then from being an adventurer to going to Cyrus Academy so that we could learn. And then from this, we are barely at school for a week. I don't know how much time has passed since I don't remember how much time has passed, but we went from like just wanting to be someone at school, going to school, attending classes and all these things, to being one of the most important peoples in existence and having to travel to a completely different land and possibly leaving behind everybody in order to complete this training so that you can return and help fight in this war. I'm pretty sure it's been a while. I don't remember, like there has been a passing of time. I remember pointing it out while reading, but I don't think it's been long. It hasn't been super long. It's been a couple of months, a couple of months at best. It hasn't been super long. So my what's next leads me to like my final like point or question to ask is, at what point does Art tell his parents about everything that's going on? And when I say everything, not the stuff he heard from Virion and not the stuff that he heard from Winsome, because of how sensitive that information is, and even probably speaking that stuff out loud in certain places Who knows what kind of magic or sorcery is going on that could pick it up. Not that information, but everything else outside of those two things. At what point do you tell them, or do you just keep them in the dark? Because now if you really do have to leave the land, there's a good chance you may never come back. There's a good chance you may get too strong and you can't come back. So it's like there's a difference between like one wanting to go back but not being able to because of responsibilities, and being too strong to come back because it's you being this strong and you showing your faces in certain places would immediately paint a target on your family's back. So at what point do you tell them? Because I think like if we have to leave now, I think it's now. I don't think we tell everyone, but I think Alice, Ray, and I think oh wow. I think Ellie. Wow, I was like, I can't remember her name. Eleanor. I think Ellie should get some revised version of it, but I do think Alice and Ray should at least be told why I am this way, and certain things, not everything. I think at this point, if you're leaving and you're not like, there's no telling when you'll come back, and you're gonna participate in a war that's gonna involve the entire world. I think you have to be straight up, especially if we're truly leaving. You just have to be straight up and be like, I can't tell you everything, but I'm going to tell you as much as I possibly can, because his parents have gotten okay with the fact that he's always been holding something back. He's always not telling the truth. He's always doing something. And it's something that they think about, but they don't burden him with the fact that they think about it. They know he's going to do it. They let him do it. But as long as he makes his way back to them, they're fine. Fine, because they're not really fine. They think about it all the time. So I don't think it'll be a permanent leave scenario either, but there's a possibility that it could be. Right? It's always the thing where it's like, it may not be a permanent leave, but you never know, it could be. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, if we're not looking at this as a story, like, I try not to look at things as a story, because for me, it could take the fun out of it, because I really could be like, this is a story, he's the main character, he's not going to go away and die, he's going to be able to make his way back. That's not fun. I like to like actually think about like, if I was in this world, like if I am art, if I'm trying to deal with these situations, like, if I'm the character, do I leave on this journey without the knowledge of yes, I will be able to return, unless this guy can just tell me you'll be able to return. Like, if he says like you'll be able to come back, I might not. But if there's no certainty that I'll be back, like, what if I go over here and I start to train and things go really well? From my understanding, it's to teach Arthur Sylvia's power, since Winsome hints at it being something really special. Yeah, but what if it's like a situation in which Arthur goes to this land, he starts the train, and because of his past experiences and everything, which seemingly is like, they seemingly don't even have an idea about art either. Like this, like, he could be a truly unique situation. He could be the only one that's done this before, this rebirth thing. Yeah, it does destroy. What's up, Agang? How are you? It could destroy like the fun you can have with the series. But like, he goes over to this land, he starts to train, and he proves to be like even better than what they could have thought of. What if that's the case, and art somehow, some way becomes not only like an important factor in this war, but the factor in the war, and he has to be the one to lead the charge, and he's the one that's taking up all this stuff. And if he doesn't do it, like, the world will descend into darkness. He will do it, because guess what? World descending into darkness means that his family gets involved in it. So I think he would fight to keep his family from falling into this despair and keeping war away from their doorstep. So he would do this. And what if it gets to the point where he becomes so affluential with these people that he could somehow, some way end up leading them? That could be a possibility. Maybe he doesn't want to. But what if he has to? What if he gets put in that situation and he never gets a chance to come back home, or he never gets to go visit them and they can never visit him? It's like all of these situations where it's just like, do you want to leave somewhere not knowing if you'll ever return with unfinished business? And for me personally, no, I don't want to. Right? Me personally, I don't want to. So I would have the conversation with my parents. I would legit look them in the face and tell them everything that I possibly could. I think you might be setting up Arthur too high. I'm not. I'm just hypothetical. That's not what I think is gonna happen. I'm just being like hypothetical. Like, what if that were the case? Like what if that were the case? Like, what if that was possible? What if all those things did happen? Like, what if he could never come back? What if he never got the chance to? What if war happens and his parents die and he never got the chance to tell them or see them again? I feel like that would kill more. So I have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm just thinking of like, I'm really just sitting here, like all the stuff that I'm just saying is stuff that's flowing to my brain right now. It's not anything I truly sat and thought about. But it's just like, I just, in this whole situation of, should you tell them? I wouldn't tell them about Winsome or these other beings, and the fact that Sylvie is a deity, and all of these. I don't think I would tell them all of that. That's all information I don't think they need to know. But I would tell them. I would tell them everything that would help them understand why I am the way I am. So I would explain to them that I lived a previous life before. I'm not like, I would tell all of that to them. I would, at that point. If this were the case, if I had to go off and fight in this war, I would, instead of waiting to come back and tell them that. Because I promise you guys, if you remember from a couple of streams ago before we got these big lore dumps, I remember saying I wouldn't tell my parents about this until they were on their deathbed. And I would finally tell them as they were on their deathbed, and then give them that before they left. I don't think that's possible. I don't think that would be possible. But like, I don't even know what to think. That's why I'm gonna reread the last grouping that we read last week before I even continue reading forward, because there was just so much in there that 100%, being like truly transparent, I don't understand all of it. I understand a good amount of it, but not all of it. So I need to reread it again so I could try to absorb it a little bit better, so that I can come up with better thoughts on what the future is in store, like what future is in store for us. Because right now I don't have an idea. Like, all I know is that Art has to, like, he's gonna have to leave in order to train. That's all I really know. But anything else is kind of just like, okay, I had a lot of stuff like said to me. There's war, there's people, like, they were never supposed to interfere, but they did. Like, Winsome is a part of these people. This guy could be a part of that people. Cynthia could be under those people. Like, there's a lot of that I'm unsure of. So I'll definitely have to reread 1000%. But I do think that there is some sort of possibility that Art could be one of the strongest people. The words between Alakara and Dicathan, you make it sound as if it's between. No. But I think this war between Dicathan and Alakria could, like, depending on the individuals that get involved, who knows who could get pulled in. Like, I think it's a lot of times wars have broken out between two people, two countries, and it's just like, man, that stuff won't spill over, and then what do you know, there's a world war. Like that's happened just like in real life, where it's just like, there's no way these things would, like, there's no way that this one incident would cause all of this stuff to happen. Like thinking about like how World War One started, like the assassination of this Duke should not have started this war, should it? But it did. And it's like, wow. So it's like, you never know. It could just be, it should be something that's isolated between these individuals, but one crazy thing could happen, and all of a sudden, right, all of a sudden more people are involved than what we initially thought. That's always the case. I'm not saying that this is happening in this series. Always a possibility. For me, it's a possibility. For you guys, you already know probably. But for me, it's always a possibility. We just don't know yet. I suck at pronouncing. What's going on? Vitra are the ones interfering. That sounds right. That does sound right. But yeah, I think there's a possibility that Art is going to be one of the strongest people, because there it is. It came back. It was like 10 to 15 minutes later, but my thought came back. The bubble thing that Art got from Winsome and the person in the shop, is that bubble thing the same thing that the Lances were given in order to boost themselves up to white core? Because whenever Varian and Art were talking, Varian said that Tess's core is at the silver state, low silver, and it was like he's like, I got excited and I did this and everything started to go haywire. And the whole thing is why Art could end up being one of the strongest people, is because he gave him one of those things and he told him, don't give it to anyone else. Don't give this thing to anyone else. Don't give this thing to anyone else. This is for you. I don't think so. It seems to be meant to stabilize the core and the connection to a beast will. So why would Art need to hold on to one? Unless him and Sylvie's connection isn't strong, but they seem like their connection is super strong. Sylvie just seems like she's premature at this point, because she's kind of been, her growth is being stunted just being with Art, not doing anything. So I wonder what sort of effect, whenever he starts his training and getting this and using that bubble thing, what kind of effect that would have on him. It came back to me. It definitely came back to me. I was like, whoa, there it is. Flooded back in my brain. But yeah, when some said Arthur has not even scratched. Yeah. So it's just like, I feel like Art, I'm not saying he's going to be the strongest person in the series, but I'm saying he has the potential to be one of the strongest. I feel like Art clearly can be the strongest person on his continent. And Dicathen. I do think that. I think post this training, unlocking more of Sylvie's power, completely integrating with her beast will and all this stuff, I think he would have the possibility to be the strongest person in Dicathen. And being the strongest person in Dicathen probably is like a drop in the bucket to some of the other people and some of the other people. So it could be a drop in the bucket, but it's possible. Who knows? But granted, we were getting all the comparisons of like Varian saying like 5 of me or 6 of me or 7 of me wouldn't even be able to stop one of her, and one of her wouldn't be able to stop one of them, and it's very wide. My point was, he might get to the point that the power overwhelms him, and that is what it's like when happens to Tess. That could be. That's possible. So, I think that's like likely because Sylvie is such a like strong being, a deity. He said that if Sylvie didn't have a humanoid form, she never would get one. I wonder if it's possible she could get one even if she hasn't turned into one yet. That would be cool. I think that would be pretty cool. I wonder. But yeah, that's all I got. I've babbled. I said I was going to talk the most about the beginning at the end. I think we talked like a half an hour about it. We were at like 40 minutes when we started it. We're over an hour now. I'm gonna call it here. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with book club. I'm gonna, for the beginning after the end, I'm definitely gonna reread before I read the next grouping, so I got to do that reread possibly tonight. I thought he said that, if I could be remembering correctly, and I'm not dying on this hill, but I thought he said that if she does, I remember him saying that she's not mature enough, but I also feel like I remember him saying that Sylvie should have a humanoid form, and Art either said something or looked something. He was like, if she doesn't have one now, I don't remember. Now I don't even fully believe that. But I thought he said something like she wouldn't have one if she wasn't able to. I don't think this week is hold on, is this week the final week? I can look. I thought he said something in regards to that. That's what I was thinking. Hold on. It does have a lifetime membership of book club. That's true. But everything that's currently out. What's this? Oh. What are the ones? Oh, it's a mature. I was like, what are the things with the red tag in the corner? It's a mature rating. 141 is what we're up to. And we're on 131. So I literally, like, we can do 131 to 140. Hold on. What should I do? Should I do 131 to 140 and then do 141 and 142 next book? So 2 book clubs from now. So next week, do 131 to 140, and then the week after do 141 and 142. Should I do that? Because we have enough to continue doing it the way we were. I'm thinking about doing it that way. I'm not going to take the beginning after the end out of book club, because I personally have more fun reading it on my own and talking about it than trying to live react to it. I might do it that way. I might do 131 to 140. Yeah, and then another chapter, and yeah, so that's what we'll do. So we'll do for next book club. So next Tuesday we'll cover 131. Yeah, so 10 next time, and then we'll just clean up the rest the time after that. And then week to week we'll just cover the beginning after the end in the stream, in the book club stream. That's what we're gonna do. All right, cool. For Bastard it'll be the same thing. It'll be the next 10, so it'll be 31 to 40. And for Black Clover we'll do volume 12. I think it's volume 12. So that's what we're going to do. The beginning after the end, we'll read that on Friday. We'll do that on Friday. Bastard, we'll do it Thursday. And Black Clover, I have to stick to it. This Saturday might not be a good one, because I promised my dad I'd do something with him. So I'll aim for Sunday night. That's what I'll aim for. Or 6 and 6 to balance. No, I don't like the number 6. I don't like the number 6. So yeah, I'm not gonna want to stop, and that's gonna be dangerous because it'll only be like 3 chapters left. So I'd rather, it's gonna be a tough one. So Bastard Thursday, the beginning after the end Friday, and Black Clover either Saturday or Sunday, most likely Sunday. I'll ping in the Discord. I'll ping the book club tag in the Discord. If you want to be on the book club tab, just hop in the Discord and mention it. We'll add you to it. And that's all I got. So thank you guys. Wanted to, yep, yeah, you did, butthead. All right. I'll see you guys. Have a good rest of your Tuesday or Wednesday, wherever you are. Hopefully I see you guys in the Discord for the readings, but if not, hopefully, God willing, I see you guys back here next Tuesday. for episode 14 of book club. So thank you guys again. I'll see ya and have a good one. Peace out.